And Are You Okay is a not safe for work podcast, so any young listeners are discouraged from continuing. However, we literally have no way to track that, so do whatever the hell you want and enjoy the show.
Skinny Batman, and now you're swole Batman.
Yeah, I'm probably somewhere in between. I'm out of shape Batman.
So Ben Affleck.
Leave that man alone.
He said, you white, you Ben Affleck.
Yeah. I love
They
that.
were all white.
I fucking love that movie. Role Models is
You don't remember that from Role Models?
Yeah,
no,
so good.
They're all white.
Or he's like, stop calling me Ben Affleck. He said, you white, you Ben Affleck.
Mhm.
And I'm white, and therefore...
He said, whatever you say, reindeer games. I love that movie.
I'm white, therefore I'm Ben Affleck.
Whispering
But in
eyes.
reality...
Tell her you miss her whispering eyes.
I
It means
literally-
vagina.
I literally said that to Ray the other night. That's so... Apropos. I said she's away dog sitting, so I was missing her whispering eye.
So do you miss the whispering eyes? Let's go.
Sorry for her dad who might tune
Let's
into
go.
this.
Hey, we definitely hit record.
Yeah, we're recording. All right. Let's actually get into this thing. I am your host, Mikey C, from the 123. Not really, it's the 215. However, I'm the human holocron, and I am here joined with two of my great friends, the people who replaced me last week and did a fantastic job. You know, some people say this is a negative thing, but we took that personally and decided to make it YALI's nickname. We're joined by Space Lesbian herself, captain of the Latinx Barbie, our favorite starship. And I'm also joined by...
Head mistress in the Coven of Lovin'.
That's right.
And I'm also joined by my partner in crime, Maddie Porter, a.k.a. Matty Ice, the Rogue One, the Rogue Only.
Checked in, baby.
Smack Talker
Checked in,
Skywalker.
baby.
He's checked in. And you are listening...
AKA Mace Windu, AKA Broby-Wan Kenobi, AKA your main from the Grey Hoodie Gang, fresh off the 9 to 5, about to hit hyperdrive, punch it, Chewie.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. And you are listening to... And Are You Okay?
I'm like literally fresh off my 9 to 5, actually.
Oh.
A Star Wars podcast.
Thank you. I was like, are they going to say it? Are they going to say it?
You know, because you wasn't here last week, the synergy got thrown off a little bit. That's what it was, bro.
We're back. I guess we should talk about why.
I told you to bleep out her name.
I know. We should talk about why I was gone. So, yeah. So I made a grave mistake, and I really should have bleeped out.
He Voldemorted himself.
I really did. I should have bleeped out. I should have not have taken Queen Bee's name in vain. Or at least, you know, done the proper thing in post to edit it out. And I didn't, and therefore I was punished. And I mean... it was pretty scary. I had a bag over my face most of the time, but the times I didn't have it off, I was getting served lemonade. And then also, so one of the times, the Queen herself was in there, and she whispered in my ear, she said, if you like it, you should have put a ring on it, and proceeded to put brass knuckles on, and I got really scared. So, yeah, let's just say I won't be making a mistake like that ever again. Sorry to Blue Ivy.
Next time I tell you to bleep something out, bleep that some bitch out.
I will. And you know, I do not want an encore. I do not want more. So I'm just gonna leave that family alone and let them, you know, reign supreme over there. So without further ado,
the Brooklyn boss. I see what you did there. You know, Mikey. So one last time, let's make some noise.
Oh, let's make some noise. Let's do it.
Well,
what the hell are you waiting for? Come on.
I'm just so glad
you're right.
they're now in the Hamptons, away from all of this. where I should be.
Of course, they're in the Hamptons.
They're living in the Hamptons right now.
Dear Mr. Royal Hampton.
Well, without further ado,
right there.
what the hell are you waiting for? I mean, holy shit, guys.
Okay, vocals.
What an episode. We're back to discuss the action-packed fifth episode of Star Wars The Acolyte, which brought death, destruction, revelation, and more questions. We're going to discuss our thoughts and some of our real-time reactions to what may be one of the most shocking episodes of Star Wars television we ever see. And I already introduced everybody, so I'm here. Me, YALI, Matt, we're going to dive into this thing. I'm going to drop a spoiler warning here, just in case we, ruin something from another Star Wars property, or maybe even
we tend to do that,
or if we decide to spoil, like an entire season of True Detective. So thanks for that, guys.
we tend to do. Hey, look, I warned everybody that I was about to fuck it up for them.
That was like 2 months ago. If you ain't watched it, that's your own fucking problem.
Word.
Listen, it's my fault for not being caught up. It's my fault for not being caught up. But I'm just saying, I hope I forget. When
or look, bro. That's two episodes you didn't heed my word. And I told you to bleep out B's name. I told you if you haven't watched Night Country, skip this part.
I have to edit it, Matt. Someone's got to edit the episode.
Oh yeah, you're right. True story. True story.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's hyper dive right into this thing. We open up on a dazed and confused Osha, who hears the sounds of lightsabers off in the distance. The Jedi confront the masked Darksider responsible for the murdered Kelnaka. As the epic battle ensues, the likes of 5 Jedi fall to the shadowy warrior. Just before the Darksider is about to lay the finishing blow to Yord, Osha shoots him with a stun blast that does nothing against the armor that the antagonist is wearing. Osha runs in desperation to escape and is saved by Sol momentarily. Sol tells Yord to get Osha to the ship before taking on the foe himself. Meanwhile, Jecki confronts May, eventually is able to get her in binders. Jecki proceeds to defend herself against the masked warrior as May tries to escape. Yord and Osha lose Basil as they attempt to get back to the ship, and after hearing an echo in the Force from her sister, Osha convinces Yord to return to Sol and Jecki's aid. Despite a valiant effort, Jecki loses her life confronting the Darksider. Just after she is able to strike a blow that removed his mask, under the mask is Chimere. Chimere threatens to kill May, forcing Sol to abandon his weapon. Chimere tells Sol that the Jedi might call him a Sith. In response to the question, "What are you?" Chimere's ultimate goal is freedom from rules and a pupil to train, and the consequences of his exposure means everyone must die because of it. Yord attempts to surprise the Sith and dies quickly in the process. Sol and Chimere continue to fight, and Osha sacrifices Pip to send the creatures of Kofir after Chimere so that they can make their escape. Sol is stunned shortly after by May before he can reveal more of his past to Osha, something he has been hiding from her. Osha and May finally reunite, but their discourse remains confrontational. May subdues Osha and decides to impersonate her by going back to the temple with Sol. Basil, seen falling behind Sol and May onto the Jedi ship, Chimere finds an unconscious, injured Osha and heals her as a familiar, ominous music plays in the background. The episode closes after the following phrase, "What extraordinary beings we are. Even in the revelation of our triumph, you see the depth of our despair." Boom, boom.
I will say I felt like that last line was supposed to be like a mic drop moment, and it didn't really hit me as strong as other great Star Wars lines have hit me in the past.
Well, it was definitely poetic and dramatic, super emo. I was feeling the vibes off that. But I guess I'll pass it off to Matt. Why don't you go first and tell us what your most shocking moments were, and then we'll have YALI give us the play-by-play of her reaction the first time through.
No pressure. Oh, shit, man. So much of this I loved. I'm trying to think of like what would I consider. All right, so I will say I don't know what the fuck is about to happen next, and I am very happy about it.
Same.
Like the whole the twin switcheroo, I'm super intrigued by what's about to happen, because I didn't see that coming. 2, I don't know how you can pull this off, because there's 8 episodes, right? I know me and YALI guessed at it, and we just like, it feels like it's 8 episodes. I don't know if that's confirmed.
Yes, there's
okay.
3
So
left.
then this is episode 5, so 3 left. So I know there can't be but so much like full twin switch you can do in terms of like their allegiances, but I would imagine Chimere knows what happened. It seems like he knows what happened, whether that's from May telling him the story through the time that they spent together, or if he has deeper roots tied to this whole event. I would imagine that that's where Osha's going to get the true version of what happened that night. And then I also think May having a conversation with Sol, thinking that he's confessing his sins to Osha, might be super cathartic to May. She might get some empathy and some like heartbreak that she might feel from the Jedi that she didn't think that they possessed. Because I feel like Soul is definitely regretful and remorseful for whatever the fuck happened. It seems like maybe he was the aggressor in said situation from 16 years ago, possibly, or co-aggressor, who knows? But I'm very interested in just to see how the twins' dynamics is going to play out in the show, because I think it'd be dope as fuck if like the Dark Master kind of like twists Osha to the dark side, and like maybe he's like, oh, the Jedi aren't that bad type time, and then it's like a whole full flip. But yeah, man, what the choreography? What's those fight scenes? The speed. Like the speed of these
Crisp
saber swings,
clean, no caffeine.
I know we had talked about this. A couple episodes ago. I really love how this show actually shows that Jedi are proficient in hand-to-hand combat, because I feel like it just furthers what we were talking about last week, YALI, that the Jedi that we know from the Skywalker saga are fucking prissy ass douchebags, like relying on everything but their natural skill. But these Jedis, they said, fuck these sabers. Jackie didn't even pull her saber out till mad late. Like she's just like, you know what? You about to catch these hands, feet, and horns. That's what y'all about to get.
Hands, feet,
like,
and horns. Okay.
Name of this episode. But yeah,
it's gonna end up being hands, feet,
like,
and horny after YALI goes off. So
I mean, look, I'm here for it. That's perfect. But I really, outside of Yord, who again is trigger happy with the saber, like he just had it just out at times when it didn't even need to be out, and I thought that was hilarious. But I like how like they don't necessarily pull their sabers first. Like if it's about to be a fight, it's about to be a fight. I really enjoyed that. But in terms of, to answer your question in a very roundabout way, like things that surprised me, everything in this episode surprised me, and I was here for all of it. The mask, whatever the fucking, it wasn't Beskar metal, right? Like
no,
the helmet and the shackle. It wasn't that.
It's a metal called cortosis, which was established in Legends, but most recently brought up in canon. It's part of the Easter eggs, but it's very relevant to the conversation, so I'm just going to bring it up now. It is an alloy that has been known to disrupt lightsaber blades. So in the novel Thrawn Alliances, which is canon, this took place, it like jumps back and forth between the Clone Wars and the Rebels timeline. But essentially the Separatists were trying to use it to make clone armor that would disrupt blasters. Obviously, this is something that Dooku is heading up for Palpatine. In reality, it probably was something that they were going to try and implement for, Order 66. However, all of the alloy is destroyed, or most of the alloy is destroyed due to an explosion at the factory, and that happens way further down the timeline. So Chimere having this is definitely it's a rare alloy, but it's still very, I guess, accessible at this point in the timeline. It's not something that would be impossible to find.
Get it. Well, that shit was cool. Like him just
I really
smacking around
like that
lightsabers
Leslie
with his bracelet.
Took that and implemented it, because you can tell. And YALI, I'm going to let you go here in a sec, but you can tell that she cares a lot about kind of like canon and Legends, because it's so built into the actual fight that it was definitely something that she considered. I don't think she was asking someone for permission when she was writing this scene. It sounded like it was an idea that she had from the jump and kind of knew how she was going to handle it. But YALI, walk us through how shocked were you as things were happening? You were kind of giving me a live play-by-play, because you told me when you were watching it.
Yeah. I hadn't watched it yet when y'all were texting back and forth. I had to avoid the shit out of it. I was like, I'm not looking at this. Stop talking.
Oh, God, yeah. I made some executive decisions to call out of a meeting. I was just like, I probably should watch it.
It was a good call.
Yeah, it was a great call. And so I had to watch it. And I was like,
prioritize.
This bitch. I wanted to send you that raggedy bitch, John.
I am a raggedy bitch.
I didn't have time. When I first watched, I was completely heartbroken, because obviously, these are not characters we stick with. People can live for a long time. Again, age doesn't mean shit in the Star Wars universe.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Ki-Adi-Mundi is the oldest living Jedi until he dies later on. But at this point in time, he's the oldest person. So age really doesn't matter. But
he dies like a bitch, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Oh my God! But for the most part, we assume that they don't make it to where we are now. So it's just I know these people are not going to be with me later, but I didn't expect We already did the spoiler alert, right? Okay, cool. Jackie dying, like, that broke my heart because I really like her character. I don't know what it is about, like, Daphne Keane does a really good job of making you, like, love the shit out of her. Of course, I do a thing right away. She does, like, a really good job of making you, like, love her. And then when she can't die, is what I'm saying. She's not allowed to die, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, and the way she died, that shit was
that's what I'm saying.
crazy.
Like, it was just...
That shit was like, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, I was like... No one asked me permission, is what I'm saying. Who asked me? Nobody asked me.
Word.
So then her dying was, like, really... It was, like, it wasn't telegraphed, I guess is the thing. Like, she wasn't telegraphed to me about her dying.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it wasn't telegraphed. And then your dying...
Yeah, them in the same episode?
In the same episode, but then he would just, like, murked in a way. Like, I feel like Jackie's death was, like, really heartbreaking, but your death was just, like, merciless. Like, it's just like, and fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you like this one too, Soul? Now he's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or this your man's? Crack. Next snap.
It's just, like, it was just so crazy. Also, it was just, like, really... Like, I think we said in the last episode, like, clearly Quimir was, like... We assumed that this Sith was, like, really powerful, but we didn't know, like, how skilled he was. And then once he got his shit off, it was like, oh my god, like, he's so good. Like, he's so good. It was definitely earned. Like, his abilities were way earned. Like you said, he wasn't quick to pull out his saber. He was very much to, like, just, like I said, go hand in hand with them. And it was very much like watch what I'm about to do. You know what I mean? Like, he was just so confident about it. He wasn't worried about, like, Master Soul being a master. He couldn't give a shit about those other two Jedi who we don't even know who they are. Nameless Jedi 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't seem scared or concerned in the least bit. Like, he was just very... It was just, like, a really good episode, but it was really heartbreaking. Like I said, I really, like Jackie's character so much. And then, like, for her to die that way, like, broke my heart. I was heartbroken. Yes, I was heartbroken for Yord, but as a Yord horde, I was just like, no, we just got into the membership. Like, is the club over now? Like, what do we do?
No more Yord horde.
Now. But then, when on my second watch, I was like, oh, we just move over to the Quimir hotties. Like, we're just moving over now.
New fan club.
He was obviously, like, covered in baby oil and dirt and rain and all other shit. I was like, oh, I can get behind these actions. Like,
my man, I feel like before he, like, revealed himself in the trees, he, like, busted out, like, 100 push-ups real quick.
Yeah,
He's
like, he was very, like, you know.
He definitely, I feel like he had sleeves. It was like, you know what? Let me rip these Jones off real quick.
Yeah. Yo, I gotta tell you.
No, he definitely did.
He had sleeves when he was hanging upside down and stuff. My man literally he ripped his sleeves off. He said, "I'm about to activate." He said, "Sun's getting real low, big guy. Trying to rip these sleeves off."
That's before he got out the thing. He just went rip.
Yeah,
amazing.
And he certainly doesn't. So, my vagina was confused the entire time. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I gotta
anymore.
tell you,
am I a space lesbian? Am I space bisexual? I'm just space Drake now, I think.
Space Drake.
Space Drake. Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying everything was wet. The tears. It was hard to say that.
Fucking hilarious. Everything was wet. Name of this episode. Hands, feet, and horny. Everything was wet. Name of this
episode. So I was watching this with my better half, Ray the Ruiner, obviously, and our two friends, Matt and Maddie. And Ray used a word I didn't know was a part of her vocabulary. In the middle of the episode, when you get a good shot of his arms, she just goes, "Whoa, he's yoked." I was like, I mean, she's not wrong. I couldn't, but he really was like, Manny Jacinto, holy shit, like that dude was jacked.
Yeah,
it was intense to say the least. But yeah, wow, what a performance from him. Apparently he did 95% of like the stunt choreography for that fight, and you know, to be honest, from all the behind the scenes stuff, it looks like oh my gosh, Daphne Keane and I think it's Charlie Bennett who played Yord were also very active and performed a lot of their own stunts. Same with Lee Jung-jae, just incredible choreography all around, and they really picked such a good cast to kind of like hone in on some of this like physical attributes. You know, Matt, I know you called out the hand-to-hand combat, but the saber fighting also some really cool stuff.
Crazy.
It was just like, it's a shame that we lost Jackie, but that was some of my favorite lightsaber
she
fighting.
Was dirty, bro.
That we've
Jackie
gotten in a long time.
To be a Padawan, she was dirty.
Beastly.
She was dirty.
And I also think, listen, I gasped before we even got the title card when he stabbed the one Jedi, and then not my term, but someone on Twitter, one of the hosts of Resistance broadcast called it a force kebab. When he pulled the other Jedi onto the saber, I was like, holy shit. Like, I could not believe that he was mowing through them like that. And Yord's death was so sudden that it was just like, it was heartbreaking, but the episode was moving so fast, you just didn't really have time to mourn, right? You just had to keep going and see what was left. And I mean, we all kind of knew that this was like leading towards it. I just want to give us a little bit of credit here. Matt, you and I discussed Yord's fate, and the one time he broke the rule,
called it.
He got killed. We called something for once.
Look, if you throw enough shit at the wall, something's gonna stick, bro.
Something's gonna stick. Also, you guys called last week. That was pretty obvious they were setting up Khmer, but hey, we were right there. Matt, sorry about your Indara theory. However,
it's all good.
I have another question for you guys. Do you think that Khmer is actually the big bad? Because I think with 3 episodes left, there is room here for him to still be the apprentice and a new, like an actual Sith Lord, the Master, to be there. Because if we're talking about an acolyte, typically in Star Wars fashion, the apprentices are the ones recruiting acolytes, such as Dooku recruiting Asajj, Asajj getting Savage. All these names are rhyming, but you understand what I'm saying. Do we think Khmer is the actual Sith Lord, or do we think he's the apprentice?
So the part of me that doesn't want to say yes does think that he is, because the line that he did say where he was just like he wanted a Padawan, like essentially, and I was just like, and you don't really get that type of verbiage from a from a Padawan themselves, or what do Siths call their apprentices? Just their apprentices, I guess.
Apprentice, I believe.
Like, yeah. So when he was saying the thing about like just wanting to be able to use his powers in peace, and like he wanted to have somebody to like teach, and thought May would be that person. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the big bad, because I feel like we know for a fact. All right, so things that we know, what we like to do here, things that we know for a fact are going to happen. We know for a fact that we're going to revisit that flashback night.
100%.
We know for a fact that we're going to get some type of resolution to this, like the end. And then the twins are going to have some type of face-off or reconciliation, whatever it may be. So I don't necessarily know if you have enough episodes left to make another big bad come into the picture, unless it's Indara. So I'm gonna stay on that hill.
Okay, all right.
But I do think that Khmer is the big bad, but I don't think he's the point. I think like him being the big bad, the fact that they gave it away in episode 5, like I feel like what happened 16 years ago is like the big thing of this show. That like this show is like centered around like who knows what actually happened, who's responsible for what, why did they cover it up? I feel like that's the big thing. So like Khmer being revealed, I don't think that like diminishes the fact that he's like the top bad guy for them to beat. I do also think it was cool. I don't know if it was a social commentary or if like I just wanted to be one, because I was saying last week, if Khmer is the bad guy, I feel like they telegraphed the fuck out of it and it seemed very intentional. I do like the part where he was just like, you really didn't know it was me? I thought that was like a little wink and nod at the fans. Like, of course it was the fuck him. I will say I'm fully taking credit for last week when I said to YALI, when he handed her the poison, he looked mad disappointed and he didn't make eye contact. And I even said, I don't know if that was like an intentional thing. I'm definitely saying that was an intentional thing now. He was just like, all right, bitch, you're not listening, but here. Take this poison and cheat. Whatever.
Take the poison and cheat.
But yeah, But because I think that what happened 16 years ago, we only had 3 episodes left, is like the bigger thing that this show wants to resolve around, and obviously like whatever darkness Soul has in him, that's the one thing I'm a bit curious about. I don't know if like Soul's guilt is the darkness that Quamir was referring to, because it's like I feel like he was really pushing that narrative like, oh, this isn't a good guy. Like he like when he was just like, oh, what happened to your mask? He's like, what happened to yours? Like, or where's yours? Or this, that, and the third. I feel like maybe Soul has some darkness in him that might be super deep down that we don't know about. Not to say that he'd be the bad guy, but I think there are like too many things that they want to reveal that are going to be like, oh shit, for there to be like another big guy. But if there is, I'm saying it's Indara. If I'm still holding out hope.
YALI,
Bullets don't do shit to Trinity.
I have to let him keep for Indara the same way I get to keep for Soul. So
Soul's a bad man, YALI. He's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Hurt people. He's a bad man.
He's not hurt. He's complicit. Don't do that. I loved you. What's this? Squid Game 2 is coming up soon, so I have to keep doing this. This is just a rollout for Squid Game 2. That's all it is.
That's all this is. That's all this is.
I think the big bad, and maybe I'm dabbling into like Matt's realm of theories, but I think the big bad ultimately is the Jedi. I feel like
the Jedi started the fire.
No, the big bad is the Jedi. I feel like
the world keeps turning.
I feel like what this is gonna be stuck in my head forever.
And the Sith are learning.
All the movies have shown us that you can't get Sith ultimately without Jedi. I feel like, and I think like that's kind of what Quamir was getting at. Like, I feel like he himself was trained by a Jedi, and he didn't get to where he was without the help of someone who was a Jedi. And I think like that's kind of like, I think ultimately what he's trying to say, like, I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for a Jedi. They won't let me live the way I want to live. They won't let me live in peace. They won't give me the right to train someone and like just live a different lifestyle than the way, which is mixing up the Mandalorian. But either way, y'all know what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Like,
it's all canon. It's all canon.
It's all the same thing. But you know what I mean? Like, Jedi just don't want anything other than how they live. And so every time someone tries to do the opposite, then all of a sudden the Jedi go, whoa, we can't have that. We gotta immediately snuff that shit out. And then here comes, that causes a ripple effect that affects everything else around it. It causes literally the Star Wars, you know? Everything else, life suffers. Everything else suffers.
That's why it's called Star Wars. The whole time?
It causes all the problems in the rest of the galaxy because the Jedi decide we can't have that. You know, they're supposed to be the peacekeepers, but they end up being ultimately the problem. And so I think all Quamir is just trying to like really do is emphasize we could be fine if you leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I think maybe that is probably the point he's trying to drive to May. It's like, look what the Jedi did. You were totally living in peace on your beautiful little planet with your lesbian mommies and your sister you love so much until the Jedi came and ruined it all for you. And so ultimately I think maybe the show is another reminder, like, look how awful the Jedi are. You know what I mean? So when
would you go as far to say that, like, from your point of view, the Jedi are evil?
I knew what you're trying to do.
Well, then you are lost.
And I'm with you. Because I'm with Daddy Quamir. So I'm with the Sith.
Oh, she's with the Sith. Shit.
With the Siths.
No, so I think maybe that's what the ultimate... I think that's the big bad of it all. And also I think maybe it's a calculated move because like I know that in the grand scheme of thing, like they're trying to do more and more shows without the Jedi. So maybe it's like a strategic thing. Like, look, if we make you dislike the Jedi when we don't have them in the shows, y'all not gonna be so mad at us. Maybe you don't want them because like y'all don't like them.
I love them. I love them. More Jedi,
fucking
please.
Up. Yeah, they're fucking up.
That's fine. You guys can have that opinion. That's fine. I still love them.
No, but I think ultimately, there's no one else. I think it's just too late. Like you said, there's only 3 more episodes. The last time they tried to cram some shit, we got the Mandalorian season 3, which wasn't really all that great. So, I'm sticking to it. It is what it is. We can't
stick to your guns. Stick to your guns, Queen.
It wasn't great. I don't care.
Fair enough.
I love
While
Jofi,
we're
though.
still somewhere around the subject of this, it does kind of feel like Chimere has like his dialogue leads me to believe that they've met before. Do you think that there's some relation there? Is he from another planet?
Soul and Chimere?
Is he from another planet where?
That's
exactly what Ray said to me, and she was like, "You're racist," and I was like, "I don't."
Yeah, I took that as they're meeting at the shop on that planet, like where
Fair
he
enough.
pulled out. That's what I took it as. He's like, "Oh, you don't recognize me?" Like,
I was
that's what
wondering
took that
if,
as.
and this I can't take credit for this point. I will shout out Ray the Ruiner again. She brought up like, oh, maybe like he was from another planet that they visited, and maybe this group of Jedi is killing everybody that they find to recruit these children. They're making it like look like, you know, like they're leaving no witnesses when they take a child from a community. I was gonna say, do you think that possibly Chimere might have maybe he had a sibling that was chosen and he wasn't chosen? And like maybe that's I think that's
part
very
of the resentment.
possible. So
I feel like the twin motif. Yeah, and I feel like the twin motif is always very present in Star Wars. So maybe he had a twin, and maybe like that's what his like infatuation with the twins is, or maybe just a sibling or somebody he cared about who was taken by the Order. And he
either way,
taken.
I think he was left behind. I think that's truthfully like that's where I feel like some of his resentment to the Jedi comes from. Or the Jedi were responsible for someone he cared about dying, as you said. It kind of reminds me of the Martez sisters. There's that great story in the one episode where they talk about how Cad Bane's escaping and Luminara, like the Jedi are chasing him down, and it ends up killing their parents. And she's like, more not, for your parents have joined the Force, as if that's going to help two kids who are stuck on the lower levels of Coruscant.
I bet you just killed my parents.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, Chimere could be coming from a similar situation.
You know, it'd be really cool, like, if they do go on that. And this is something that I would kind of like to see just period. Like, we've always seen, like, the Jedi selection process is, like, a positive thing. Like, when the Jedi come and knocking on your door, it's like well, that's how they've tried to spin it. Like, oh, being chosen as a Jedi is this big, huge honor. Like, I would kind of like to really see, like, the other end of it for, like, a parent who, like, knows they'll never see their kid again and, like, is trying to resist. Like, maybe it was a situation, like, if we see it, like, from Chimere's, like, perspective, like, where his mom's like, fuck, like, they're coming. Like the kidnappers, like, the gobblers are, like, coming to take you. Like, we need to hide you away. Like, maybe kind of like what you were saying, Mikey, with the sister, the story, like, their parents died. Like, but I think that'd be real cool, like, if they showed a perspective of a family that had a Force sensitive kid who, like, does not want them to go with the Jedi because, like, they just do not rock with how the Order is, and you see it from like these kidnappers are coming to take my baby. Like,
yeah, so there are references to specific cultures within the Star Wars universe who do not like the Jedi and feel that they're like baby snatchers. The Bardotan monks are one of them. You know, they stopped letting their children go with the Jedi. But yeah, it is in a lot of ways perceived as an honor by several like species throughout the galaxy. And I do think, you know, obviously we're talking about, it's like a fantasy world, so there's an element of it that, you know, we sometimes I think are like forgiving of it in that sense, because without it we wouldn't have all these great like warriors that are part of these stories that we love. But when you do break it down, it is kind of
you
like,
know, these warriors with Stockholm syndrome.
But it's like in a sense it's like it's for this greater cause. But you know, any family who's, you know, tied to their loved ones, you know, of course they
not my babies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if someone came for my dog, I'd tell them to literally go eat shit. So I guess you know, I don't have children that I can't relate to. You both know that a lot better than I do. But it is certainly something that I think could play into. So it paints the Jedi in a negative light, right? So, and I'm not saying that they can't be painted in a negative light. I think that it's interesting that this story is being told at the end of the High Republic, which is kind of like after the most peaceful time in the galaxy is coming to its tail end. We're like really starting to see them just
because the Jedi be fucking up.
Yeah, it's like from 0 to 60 into bad decisions.
They can never keep the peace. Like, for being peacekeepers, they sure do lose the peace quite a bit. like shit, I just had the peace around here somewhere. Like,
the record is not
where did I put that damn piece? Like, I just had it around here somewhere. Like, I will say, still fuck the insults that be on the internet, like just gangbanging just for the sake of gangbanging. But them using the word Sith does make the Ki-Adi-Mundi shit bother me just a tiny bit. Like, very
hard disagree. Disagree. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Not even his age.
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
No, not his age.
Tell you why you're wrong.
Now the age.
I understand that. That's fine.
The age
That's fine.
part doesn't bother me. It's him proclaiming that the Sith haven't been around for thousands of years. If
he doesn't go on the mission though.
But I'm saying, so you're telling me that so Soul finds a Sith and they're not about to go back and tell the Order? They're 1,000% about to go back and tell the Order.
No, he's going to go back and tell Venestra, who's very scared that the Sith coming back is going to ruin the view of the Jedi, and she's going to bury that shit, and they're all going to end up dying.
All right, if that happens, I'm rolling. But if he has a fucking meeting and tells the council,
what are you talking about? The Jedi love a meeting.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, so I'm projecting because obviously nothing's happened yet, but the fact that they used the S word and they've had this interaction and Soul made it off world, I'm saying if he reports back that they just encountered a Sith that's out here training Jedis, that will bother me. That Ki-Adi-Mundi was the one who, the Sith haven't been seen for thousands of years. Like, for him to be the one that like voiced that out to just kind of poo-poo Qui-Gon away, it will bug me if this knowledge does come. But if Venestra does bury the shit, then I'm back on the. And again, I said fuck the incels. I started with that. I'm saying
I'm not saying
the hole in the logic.
I'm not saying that your logic there is wrong. I'm just saying that like
that's the only thing that I'm saying will bug me.
Yeah, I just think that they're like touting this as this like big talking point, as if it's like breaking canon, when it's in my opinion, it is further solidifying canon by making Ki-Adi-Mundi look like someone who is willing to just completely bury these things and act as if the Jedi are above it. So to me, even if there's a meeting and he hears that the Sith has returned, and he's like, no, that can't happen, we're the Jedi, and ultimately they go back into hiding, and he still takes that stance 100 years later when the Phantom Menace happens, he looks like even more of a douche. And I'm gonna be honest, all my homies hate Ki-Adi. All my homies hate Ki-Adi. I hate Ki-Adi. He's
all
an asshole.
My homies hate Ki-Adi. Name of this episode. All my homies hate Ki-Adi.
You watch the Clone Wars. How do you not hate this man? He says,
nah, I'm rolling.
There's no such thing as luck. And then in the same episode, he's like, with any luck, this will happen. Fuck you. You just said there's no such thing as luck. And then also, he's one of the main guys who's like trying to kick Ahsoka out of the Order and doesn't believe her. This bastard has been fucking up the Jedi. He's the reason that the Clone Wars are successful for the Sith. If anything, Ki-Adi's a fucking Sith. There, I said it. We're gonna die on that hill.
Hey, look, I'm not defending Ki-Adi. He's a crack barrel eating racist Jedi.
Yeah, because you're my homie. Because you're my homie, and all my homies hate Ki-Adi.
I'm rolling. I'm just saying, if it gets brought back into like a council meeting and like multiple Jedi, including Ki-Adi-Mundi, are given this brief and like, fuck, what are we gonna do? That line in Phantom Menace will bug me if like it's not like you said, like if he's on some like impossible, like then I'm like, all right, cool, he's just a stuck-up asshole. But if there's like concern and this becomes like a big deal, no facts. Like Conehead called, they want their movie back. Like I'm rolling. Fuck Ki-Adi-Mundi. I'm just saying, like if this gets brought to the council and it's like a big deal, then that will bug me. And that's just because, like, you know me, like logic is a thing for me when it comes to film and TV. So it's just like it's a plot.
I mean, logically, you don't believe in your side. It's fine.
You're right. Brain on some other shit, yo.
All up in the club for a year or so, or I guess 100 in Ki-Adi's case.
I can sure use a Sprite.
Big head, dumbass, like.
I mean, I fucking I'm rolling, bro. Like, I'm rolling. I'm rolling. Like, he's balding. Why do you keep the ponytail, bro? Just let it go. Like, just come on.
Oh my god, you're preaching to the choir, dude. I hear you. That's good shit, dude. I'm adding it to my repertoire of insults to Ki-Adi-Mundi. I hate him.
You're balding, bro. Just cut the ponytail off.
You know what's funny though? It's like
I'm just here for Quimir's arms. That's all I'm here for. I can talk about
that's fine. Here's the other thing that's pissing off about Ki-Adi-Mundi is that his race in Legends, he's allowed to have sexual relations because his like species is going extinct. So he has like 5 sister wives. That's messed up. That's messed up. They won't let Anakin smash Padme, but he can go and have 5 sister wives.
He definitely takes them all to Cracker Barrel.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
And it's affordable. It's affordable. So
that's why he takes them to Cracker Barrel. Don't you dare ask that man for no Red Lobster. He gonna be like, who the fuck you think you are, ma'am?
I don't do cheesy biscuits.
You think you deserve Cheddar Bay biscuits? He said, you out here talking about the Sith and you want some Cheddar Bay biscuits? Look, that's how he buries the Sith uprising. Like he offers some Cheddar Bay biscuits. He's like, how many Sith are there? Zero, daddy.
And he's like, he just doesn't stop pouring gravy onto it. It just keeps pouring out. Like it should have finished having gravy come out, but gravy is still for some reason coming out of it. And he's
it's
like,
the Force, baby.
It's
the Force.
Unlimited gravy with the Force, y'all.
It's the Force.
Did the Sith give you unlimited gravy? No, daddy.
How many Sith were there this week? 0, daddy. Cheddar Bay biscuits, the demise of the Jedi Order, man. That's how they got.
So,
that's how they got.
Getting back off my tirade of hating Ki-Adi-Mundi, but back to the episode. How do you guys feel about the confrontation between Osha and May? I do
loved it.
I thought it was interesting from a character standpoint that Osha was like still mad at her sister, even though
at the end of the day,
like
she killed Andara and Torben, who were like important to her, or like were important to her. But I did that whole interaction. Like I watched that particular scene back a couple times because it's like I'm now looking at that flashback episode, like maybe all that shit is just unreliable. Like everything, like even like from May's perspective, like her saying like, oh, they invaded and oh, they've brainwashed you. Like I will say I did find it interesting that May didn't refute that she started the fire, but she kind of looked confused. Like when Oshi was just like, oh, like you started the fire, you destroyed everything. She kind of was like, the fuck are you talking about? Like what? Mm-hmm. Like, but she didn't like come straight out and just be like, I didn't start a fire. But she did seem like a bit confused. But just like May's perspective of it was like, yeah, no, like they basically ransacked our home and like kidnapped you, bro. Like now you got Stockholm syndrome. So it's like, I'm wondering if I also do find that one line that Oshi said where she was just like, oh yeah, like I've seen somebody get in the mind of a Jedi before. My mom's done it before. This, that, third. I feel like that was put there intentionally because I know we had all said Mother Coral, that's the one that carried the babies, right? That her body wasn't amongst the dead bodies like in that flashback. So now it's got me thinking like maybe Osha was like under a trance and maybe like her perception of it is totally different. Maybe May wasn't the one that was under a trance. Maybe like Osha was put under a trance, whether it was like her conversation that she had with her mom or her mom was just like, oh yeah, like you can go be free, after she was just like, hell no, you can't go, don't be free. But it's just like it seemed like May and Osha were having 2 different conversations, like about like what happened the last time that they saw each other. Like May was just like, oh, we both survived and I love you and please don't choose them again. And those was like, oh, you're a criminal. Like I'm taking you in, this and third. So it's just like I'm looking at that whole episode now, like, oh yeah, I can't believe anything that I've seen in this episode. And we know we still have that scene where you see Kelnaka like attacking Torben or jumping into the air. We know we still got that scene to come. So I would imagine like once we get like the actual version of what happened. But yeah, I liked I like, again, we always talk about having our expectations subverted. I like how quickly May went to embrace her sister. Like I thought they were gonna kind of have like a temp check conversation. Let me see if I can get close to you, but I'm gonna keep this gun on you. May was just like, nah, fuck it, throwing this gun as soon as I could have shot you. Just want you to let you know that I'm not going to. And then she like tossed the gun away right away. I thought that was really cool. Kind of going back to what we talked about YALI last week. Like when she found out her sister was alive, she was like, yeah, fuck this Dark Order shit. Like I'm going with my sister. Like I stand with my twin. So yeah, I'm like very intrigued to see what actually happened. Again, going back to Cormier, you know, kind of poking the needle at Soul, telling us like, oh yeah, like where's your mask? Or, you know, they had brought up the line again about Jedi not attacking unarmed people, or when Soul went to attack him, he was just like, oh, you attacked me from behind. That's not very Jedi of you, this, that, and the third. So it's like, Soul got some baggage. He's not a good guy, YALI. He's not a good guy.
Matt, I love your theory, especially around the like unreliable narration. I know we had discussed that, but and I also feel like this is the second time during this show's coverage that I'm almost like piggybacking onto your theory, but it kind of took my brain to a place where
that's why we here, baby.
Do you think that OSHA may have been the one who actually started the fire? And like maybe it's like the roles are completely reversed and we're just seeing it from whatever was implanted in OSHA's head. And that's why May's so confused. I really like that train of thought. Let's, you know, we'll monitor the thread, pun intended, and keep going from there.
Did it.
YALI, any thoughts on, you know, I guess like that relationship? Do you think that both sisters will turn? Do you think that Soul's going to rub off on May, and Chimere will be able to convince OSHA? Pause.
He's like, whoa! Let's take her out to dinner first.
Right, relax. I understand you, Miss Ray, but calm down.
Say, calm down, Jamal. No need to pull out the 9.
Yeah, it definitely, like, when they embrace each other, it's like, it was definitely, like, too perfect in an episode where there was so much murder. I was like,
murder?
Too murder.
Murder? What murder?
Too well orchestrated, if you ask me. Like, Disney doesn't just give you happiness in the middle of all of this. I don't think.
I mean, they quickly snatched it away.
I was like, yes, please. I was like, please take this back. I don't want this. But you could tell, like, May's tears were too genuine. You know, like, she was very much like, you're brainwashed and please don't choose them again. And, like, you can tell she really missed her. And you can tell her flip was sincere. But you can also tell that her genuine fear of, like, you know, Darth Teeth was very real.
Darth Teeth!
I don't know what else to call it right now.
Darth Teeth is hilarious.
Don't forget to go to the dentist.
Nah, Darth Veneers, bro.
Darth Veneers. Oh, that's cool.
Love it.
Because, like, she was like, he was a little scared of him. So she was like,
she ran like 6 different times. Anytime she got a chance to run, she was like, I'm running, bro.
May is, if there's one word to describe her, it is fear. Like, it is her motivating, like, emotion in every aspect.
Yeah.
She's actually, she is going to be in the new Inside Out as fear.
She is nope personified. Emotion. She's just like, nope. Nope. She's nope personified. Any chance? Nope. Not doing this.
It's not for me.
Even you know, a part I really thought was like set the tone, and I thought was very unexpected, but again, I enjoyed it. When that fight was happening, May did not leave that house. She said, I thought when she looked back and like grabbed the saber, she was gonna go help. I thought she was gonna let she stayed her ass right in the house. She's looking through the peephole. She's like, I ain't going out there, bro.
Like, she said, that seems like a y'all problem.
She said, y'all got this. Like,
me.
I ain't doing that.
No, but I didn't think that they would like. I didn't think it was gonna be like that quick, but like, and then when like OSHA had the one tear, I was like, maybe it's reaching her, but like, no, it was more like, it was kind of like that Thanos scene where like he was crying for Gamora, and she was like, "Oh, your tears are fake," and he was like, "Dude was like, nah, like he really crying for you, but also he's crying because he's about to kill you." You know what I mean? Like
he doesn't cry for himself.
Yeah, it's like OSHA's tear was kind of like, I'm about to cry because I'm also about to kill you. You know what I mean? Like that type of situation, because she's still mad because in her mind she's like, you got rid of my biological family and you got rid of my chosen family. Yeah. And like when you're in the queer community, like your chosen family means so much to you. So now you've gotten rid of 2 families. Like I just watched you kill Jackie, who I've gotten to know. York's been my friend my entire life. My chosen family and Dara and Torben and now Kalneka. It's like, okay, I can't watch you take any more people away from me, so now I have to make this really hard decision, which basically means I get rid of the last person I'm like biologically connected to. It's like all of that gets wrapped up into this one big, you know, a big choice you have to make. But it also boils down to, at the end, like, May's decision of, like, fear is also the thing her biggest emotion. Like, that's gonna make the ultimate decision, no matter over love or anything else. It's like, fear is, I mean, they say in all the Star Wars movies, like, fear will take over everything. It will consume you. So she is just like, ultimately, I love you, Oshi, but I need self-preservation is gonna outweigh all my decisions.
Yeah.
But I also hated the CGI of her cutting her hair. That took me all the way the fuck out. I was like, who said we gonna spend $100,000 on this? Like, we could have just not. Like,
yeah, that wasn't the best. Like, even how she did it, like how she like held it for like a really long time before she ignited it. I was like, that was so dramatic.
Sith salons
I kind of
liked
it
over there.
No, I liked it, but it was just like how she like
it looked bad.
How she held it and like just like kind of like it was like who are you doing the dramatic pause for? No one's watching.
Dramatic.
Your sister's knocked unconscious. You just like took like 10 seconds before. Yeah,
OSHA woke up for 3 seconds to be
say,
like, and that's an OSHA violation.
Get out. I'm calling the Bey-Hive, bro.
No, please, not again.
I will say, to your point, YALI, I agree with you 100% just about that. So many thoughts probably going through OSHA's head in that moment. I do like how Amanda like chose to play it, like how you can tell that's like the first time she's got to touch her sister in 16 years. So it's like, even though she's like so angry, you could tell it was like that moment, like, oh, this is nice. And then she's like, oh, this bitch be killing people.
Right.
But there was like that moment. She had the Doctor Who single tear at the one. But yeah, like you said, like May's reactions to like her talking about like that night or just everything around her and her sister's relationship, it is way too genuine. Like you could tell there's still like a deep wound that she's like still dealing with or hasn't dealt with. So it's just like, yeah, I really am curious as to like what happened. But that would be crazy if OSHA started the fire, even if it was accidentally, if that like how that played out on screen for us was like flippity flopped or this and the third. Could have been like shit, could have been like OSHA was about to leave and they weren't gonna let her go. She's like, all right, well, if I can't go, fuck this place. Like, yeah, or whatever. It could be any number of things that could have happened. But yeah, May definitely whatever May's version of that night is, I'm kind of more inclined to believe her side of the story, because like her reactions to everything just seem too like you said, YALI, like genuine. Like even like her distrust of the Jedi, and you know, like I feel like something happened between her and Soul that night, and I feel like that's why Soul was very much like, oh shit, before we go do this, I promise I'm gonna tell you everything, but I just need your help. So it's like, I don't know if like it was a conversation, or like I was saying before, maybe he did see, maybe May was holding the candle and like Soul scared her inadvertently and she like dropped it and it started the fire. Could have been something as simple as that, or whatever it may be, or whatever that battle that we kind of see in the teaser trailer with Kelneka jumping up that happens in the courtyard. Maybe May was there for that. I do have one plot hole question that I would love to present to you guys.
Sure.
Now that we know who Darth Veneer really is, how is him killing Kelneka? How did that make sense now? Knowing that, because I'm under the assumption timeline wise.
Before he said,
but that's what that's why I say it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would he send her there to kill Kelneka, knowing that he went and killed him already?
Oh no.
That's the loyalty thing.
So this is the timeline of when you go back and watch episode 4. Just okay. Keep an eye out for it. She puts him in a trap, and she says,
"Yeah, I remember that.
I don't need to go to the master. Right? I'm gonna run to OSHA and turn myself in, or whatever. Or like, I'll run off with my sister." He's in that trap, but he's not actually trapped. So I think he uses his power to escape the trap, get to Kelneka before May does, and kills him then, because the lightsaber wound is fresh.
You know, no, we said that last week, but I swore, I'll go back and watch episode 4 again, but I swore after May trapped him, I thought she ran to Kelneka's hut. Like, I thought that's where she went. Like, she didn't, like...
We're just saying he has, like,
I think much more time passes between...
You know, see what I'm saying? He entered the Speed Force.
I legitimately think that, like... listen, unless the episode is cut in a way where, like, as she runs away from him, she's going directly into the hut and he's dead... I don't think that.
That's how I saw it. I thought that she like went to go that direction.
I think some time passes. She traps him, and then there's I think they may cut to like the Jedi or something, and when she comes upon Kelnaka, that he has already made his way there, because also he's traversed the forest before, so he knows where he's going better than May does. I guess my question to y'all is, now
it
knowing
that
right,
it doesn't,
exactly,
now he traversed it before her, that gives him 10 more minutes on her,
and his whole point was for her to do it. So like, why would he rush to kill him, leave, hide, and then come back?
I mean, his plan changed.
No, I get what you're saying, because she had said like, yeah, fuck this thing, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing this for you guys anymore. So
yeah,
I get that, but it's just
he was like, okay, well then you're not my potential acolyte anymore.
Right, but I still don't know why he would then go kill Kelneka, leave, hide, and then come back to the hut again. That's the part that confuses me. If he went there, let's say that he got out from the trap, time passed, May got lost in the woods, whatever. He goes, kills Kelneka, leaves, the Jedi come, and then he comes back. Why didn't he just stay at the hut? If his goal, his motivations confuse me.
But he also
that's what I'm saying. Show's going to
Jedi. I think he also knew that the Jedi were coming, and he probably had a better chance of taking the Jedi.
But he came. But he shows he doesn't ambush them. He walks up and fights them face to face.
He's already severely. He severely outpowers them by so much. Didn't matter if he was in the hut, outside the hut, in a tree, sitting on the stump. He already knew he could out. Yeah. He wasn't concerned about their power levels.
Yeah, it's the him leaving to come back that confuses me.
He could have just sat there. Like,
yeah, you should have just stayed there.
I hear you. That's definitely dramatic effect. I'm not going to argue that, but he could definitely make it there before May does, after he gets trapped.
I don't know, because I feel like she ran straight to the hut. Like, I don't feel like she she dilly dally.
Minutes on her, even if he already knew the way. Also, wouldn't she would have been
yeah, wouldn't he ran past her?
Straight to the hut, jump in the hut, no one out pizzas the hut. Let's just forget about the hut and move on.
Life can be a beach, but as long as there's no sand. Yeah, it's and I know this is like you said, it's dramatic effect. It was done for TV purposes. It's just in the subverting my disbelief, suspending my disbelief. That strategy doesn't make sense. Like, you go there, kill him, leave, just to come walk back.
I think it would have been cooler to be
come out the hut. Yeah,
he doesn't.
Or come out the hut. They're like, oh, Master Kelneka, and he comes out the hut.
He doesn't walk back.
He flies down. Back. He flies back. You're right. But yeah, just him leaving. Or the only way that I'm gonna shoot this man bail is if he ran there as Quamir, kills him, is like, shit, I need my mask, and then went back to get his fit, and then
I'm gonna need someone.
Yeah, that's when he ripped off
this exact series of events, because I feel like they've been really
because it's like, I don't want to stay here too long, but again, it's just really funny because it's like he would have had to stay up there long enough for May not to realize that he forced himself down, so he had to sit there.
Wait
around, let her get away. All right, gets himself down, somehow beats her to the hut that she made. Yeah, somehow beats her to the hut that she beelined for, killed the Wookiee, which again, and we talked about this last week, which I don't know if this might play a part into it. Kelneka looked very relaxed. He didn't look like he was snuck up on. He wasn't shot through the back. He was sitting in a chair and sliced through the chest. I don't see a Wookiee sitting in his lazy boy trying to have a conversation with Quamir.
So, and this might play into it, and maybe we'll find out, but there's a bunch of the Coven imagery in his hut. So maybe Quamir was controlling him from the jump. Maybe he already had it in hand, and it was a test for May.
Okay.
But when May
so maybe he has that power too? Oh yeah, because they did say that Yor did say that he felt like he was in his head.
In his mind.
That's when Osho was just like, oh, I've seen somebody do that before. My mom could do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe Quamir has that power. Maybe he's older than what he looks. Maybe he was the person that taught the witches how to do that. Don't know, say. Or maybe whoever trained him was the person that taught the witches how to do that. Maybe he's Plagueis's apprentice before he met Sheev. I know people were throwing around
think that is a real possibility. Honestly,
I would like that
a
a
real
lot.
Possibility.
I would like that a lot if he was Plagueis's original apprentice before Sheev and his beautifully coiffed hair.
I think from a timeline standpoint, it matches up. So I'd be down for it.
I'm here for that.
Any final thoughts before we go into Easter eggs and references here?
I'm trying to think of anything that we didn't cover.
I was gonna say, if they made that man train for several months to get super buff and he not shirtless at least one of these times, what is the actual fucking point? That's all I'm gonna actually say. I'm speaking for the gays, the days, and all of us. It's Happy Pride Month. Let's end on a positive note. That's all I'm gonna say. We asking for it. I would like
his little pocket rocket lightsaber, his flesh lightsaber.
Pocket
that shit was that he killed Jackie with. His flesh lightsaber that he killed Jackie with. That shit was. That was. You know what's crazy? Like, just on that, before we get into the Easter eggs, watching Star Wars like lightsaber fights and everything, it feels like a dance. Like, especially like in the prequel trilogies, it feels like a dance. I really felt like somebody was gonna lose an eye with these fights. I was like, oh my god, like someone's gonna get hurt. like I really was in this bitch like on the edge of my seat. Yo, bro, because it's like, you know, like when we watch like, you know, like Battle of Heroes or Duel of the Fates, like it's beautiful. It's just like flowing. It's like Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. It's just such beautiful, just artistry.
Did you say like, Bruce Lee?
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
You know, you said Bruce Lee.
I mean, he's from the Hidden Leaf tribe. he was a Hokage before Naruto's dead.
He ran with his arms behind his back.
Exactly. But these fights, especially with like adding in like the punches and the kicks, like it felt like like they're going for like kill shots, like it just was like just violent hacks, but it was like on point. Like it was just I really liked it a lot, but I really was like, oh my god, someone's gonna get hurt. Watch out, protect your eyes. But I liked it a lot, and just like the implement of like the that his bracelet, like when it would fuck up like the lightsaber emitters and stuff, like the noise it would make. I thought that shit was fire. It was like the Iron Man gong. Like I thought that shit was lit, man. Everything about those fights.
When they're ready to sell me those bracelets too, along with the Kalneka Lazy Boys, I am ready.
Yeah, no Kalneka Lazy Boys.
I am also ready to purchase. I kept saying every time this episode,
Lazy Boy by Kashyyyk,
yes. Every time they did something in this episode, I kept going, I'm ready to buy that too, and I'm also ready to buy that. I'm ready to buy the
I need that Darth Veneer, Veneer helmet.
I was like, I'm ready to buy that now.
Yo,
like,
so they just released
like, in the day.
pictures of like the Black Series version of it, so you can buy it. You can actually buy that helmet.
Yes.
So
ready to buy.
Add that to your Amazon cart. Definitely put it in your purchase. So I have something. I've thought about this. I think I messaged quite a few people afterwards. I was like, I think that was a 10 out of 10 episode, right? I was talking, you know, with my cohort of people I watch with, Ray, Matt, Maddie, and other Matt brought up a really good point. He said he felt like the one thing that's been missing from this show has been really powerful music. And I gotta be honest, I don't disagree with him. I do think that's if something is going to take something away from this, where it's like, let's say we're comparing this lightsaber fight to the Duel of Fates. The music is a big part of Star Wars for me, and I just don't feel like throughout this episode I was getting hit with as many.
It needed to be louder.
Yeah,
I feel like that kind of goes to what I was saying about like the hacks of the lightsaber was like the dominant sound, and that shit just felt like really intimidating. It was like, oh shit, like, this guy is crazy.
You know, and maybe there is something to be said about
score.
Yeah, the sound design, Matt. Maybe there is something there that it's like purposely done so that maybe like music has more of an impact in the latter episodes. But this one felt like it could have had some really intense music playing and just didn't. Instead, we just heard the sounds of clanging.
Clanging and banging.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in this episode. Not done by me this time.
So many things. I like the before we get into the Easter eggs, I also like the I wouldn't even call it subtle, but it was the end of the episode. But I liked how like Quamir was like very paternal over Osha at the end. Put the cape over, you know, like
he's
put his
he's still looking for a Padawan. He's like,
no, I know, but I feel like that like I feel like in a very like, you know, buzzer beater shot, they like in that one moment they like added depth to his character, because like everything up until that point, man, was a fucking masochist. Like he was just out here just slaughtering folk, neck snap Yord, hit Jackie with the flesh lightsaber, like did the force kebab like on the one guy, like he was just out here catching wreck. And then it's just like, oh no, like, you know, I won't say he cares, but like, you know, I guess he's apathetic to other misplaced children, which could go back to, again, his like whatever his backstory is. But yeah, I'm here for it. I also loved his very well placed bang, his sweaty bang that was just over his eye, just so perfectly placed.
I also liked it.
I was just waiting for him to just hit us with one of these.
For those of you who
that has
can't
to be
see,
the real,
Matt
so
was
people
doing
know what I'm talking about.
like a flourish with his head, so that as if his hair is flowing in the wind.
Don't worry, we know. Those of us who know.
Right, if you know, you know.
We do.
You know, sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas. Say Drake.
No, don't finish that.
No, you're right. I know I wasn't going to. That's why I stopped.
Even though the Jedi do like him young.
Jesus Christ.
And
Oh man. So Padme just beat Anakin to the chase. He's like, I know this is gonna be your steez anyway, so let me flip it on. Flip it on you.
Nope.
you're making about Kendrick 2 episodes in a row.
Oh man. I love it. I like it. Give us some Easter eggs, bro.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's make an omelet.
So we talked about Cortosis. Chimera is wearing an alloy that originated in Legends but popped back up in canon in the book Throne Alliances. It can short out lightsabers. So yeah, that's what was going on there. This is the most Jedi killed by a single opponent in live action since Sidious killed 4 Jedi Council members in Episode 3. Jeki wields 2 green lightsabers at one point, similar to Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. The 2 aliens playing a game look to be playing an analog version of Dejarik. That's the holo chess that they play on the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope, and several other references. Also, something I'm surprised we didn't bring up, but you can hear Kylo Ren's theme as the episode is coming to its close. Chimera, when he's like putting the thing over Osha, you hear ba, 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 da,
yeah,
which is synonymous with him, and has led a lot of people online to think that this may be a Knight of Ren. I am definitely not going to close the door on that theory. I think that's very possible. I think that's very possible. If he's not a Sith, then Knight of Ren, or maybe the originator of the Knights of Ren. That definitely feels
because the Ben Solo comic shows like how the Knights of Ren like came to be, and aren't those canon?
Well, so I think that the leader calls himself Ren, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would have to double check, and those are canon. But I also know that when it comes to like a hierarchy of like what actually matters in canon, it's always like live action animated and then the books.
I gotcha.
So I hear you, and I'm not saying. Listen, I read a lot of the comics, and I've listened to quite a few of the audiobooks.
I don't see Chimera trying to be. Only one of them could be emo, and I don't think he's gonna let Ben Solo be head emo. I'm just gonna say.
He said there's not
I mean, it is
the
about 200 years before Ben, so it's.
You know what I mean? He's not gonna let Ben be head emo. I just don't think so.
Facts. That's too much good. That's too much good jet black hair for one team.
Listen, there can be a jet black haired emo in the 1800s, and then jet black haired emo in the 2000s. That's how long it is.
But like honestly, like comparatively, like no offense, Adam Driver, but it's not you.
so I will say full aesthetic, I'll give it to Chimera, but if we're going just hair, Ben Solo had amazing hair.
It was
he did have nice hair.
Especially for a person that wore a helmet all the time. That bitch came out like hello.
It was full of body. It was full of body.
They'd be like, hey Kylo, you ready? And he's like blow drying his hair, and he's like, I'm not done yet.
That's the real.
But no, because Ben's never been on any of the hot planets. You know what I mean? He's always
You're right.
He was on Mustafar.
But he had the helmet on. Didn't he have the helmet on in Mustafar?
No, he did not. That's the
Oh
beginning
yeah.
of
At the
episode
beginning of 9. Yeah,
he does
you're
that
right.
cool
This
thing
man
where he
has been
like
on all
he
the
like
sweaty
slides
games
across
so
the
far.
ground with his lightsaber in the fire.
This man has
But,
been on all the sweaty tropical rainforesty planets. Give him, we haven't seen him in better conditions.
You're right. True.
So you're
true.
saying he's wet. He's wet.
Yes, so am I.
Everything's wet.
Everything's
Hands, feet, and horns.
Horns.
Everything's wet.
Hands, feet, and horny. Okay.
Did you say all the Easter eggs? Because I got a big one. I want to make
Oh.
sure you didn't say it yet.
Hit me,
though.
I missed
So
it.
we'll go-
Yeah.
Oh, that was all your Easter eggs?
That was all mine. Yeah, I must have missed it.
You
What's going on?
missed it?
Hit me.
May 1000% says to Soul, you turned her against me.
Oh
I was
my
gonna say
god!
that one too.
I'm sorry. In my head, when that happened, I screamed
I freaked the fuck out.
internally.
Yeah, I
you have
geeked.
done that
I
yourself. Like I was like,
I geeked, bro.
shame.
I was like,
Shame on me. Honestly, I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
That was like I geeked.
I'm rusty.
I
I'm
definitely
rusty.
had like a geek out.
I was captured for a week.
You
I'm going through that
you
trauma.
did just get out of the Bey-Hive basement. You did just you went through a lot. You went through a lot. I feel like you should give me and YALI credit for filling out that paperwork so quick and getting you we expedited the shipping.
I literally cannot thank you guys enough for all of the effort you put in there in getting me out of prison, and then also heralding this. It was the first time an Annie Are You Okay episode was hosted without either myself or original founder of the podcast, Siebes. So thank you, Matt and YALI, for stepping in and doing your thing. We appreciate you so much. This is also a good time to, I guess, tell people that you can listen, subscribe to Annie Are You Okay with the letters A and I. Are You Okay Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We are trying to be more social on everything. And speaking of socials that you can follow, you can also listen to our sister podcast, which YALI happens to be the executive producer of, and Matt happens to be one of our esteemed hosts. We have our 99th episode has just come out. Our 100th episode is around the corner, and we are very, very, very excited about this one. It is a Dragon Call. I'm going to say that. We're pumped. It is a huge, testament to everything that Matt and Travis have done over there. 100 episodes. Wow, I can't believe we're at 100 episodes. It's crazy.
Nuts, bro.
Annie, are you okay? Sitting in its 70s right now, so maybe we'll be doing something
well on the way.
in a year from now. Who knows?
For Annie, instead of making a big deal for episode 100, we have to make a big deal for episode 99. We have to. Got to do it for the
100%.
Got to do it for the boys.
Got to do it for the boys. All them clones out there, them bad batchers.
Y'all didn't do anything special for Order 66?
Oh shit, dude! I think we well past.
We rolled right through it. We rolled right through it.
The first one.
I wasn't counting then. But yeah, you can follow Dragon Ball for Life over on Instagram and Twitter at DB4L_pod. That's the letters DB, the number 4L_pod. You can also check us out on Facebook at Dragon Ball, the number 4 Life on Facebook. And yeah, just please listen, subscribe, leave reviews. We're also on YouTube for Annie Are You Okay?
Support
and
us.
Matt and I are working on getting YouTube set back up for Dragon Ball for Life. Some technical issue, but it's just a little snag in the road. We'll have that fixed soon. But without further ado, Matt, can you eloquently close this bad boy out like you always do?
I got you, brother. I'm trying to think. Whose name
right now?
Whose name do I want to rhyme with today?
While you're figuring it out, I do want to say great job with the song. I forgot the song today, but you killed the song last week. I
added an extra line in there.
Oh, that shit was good. I was a big fan.
I appreciate you. All right. Well, in honor of Mikey's triumphant return to Annie Are You Okay? Star Wars podcast, it could be the Bey-Hive. Mm-hmm, it could shuck and jive. Mm-hmm. It could staying alive.
Okay.
Or it can be May. Life can be a beach, but as long as there's no sand, you guessed it, Annie gonna be okay.
Be okay. May the force be with you guys.
May the force be with you.
And with you. Later, nerds.
Maybe I'm single.